Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Lost Inferno Fire Dragon here, and today I'm doing a deck profile for a commander deck for Magic the Gathering. Let me get that out of the way. And for the commander, it's Rubina Soulsinger. It's a band color which is green, white, blue. Her ability is you may choose not to untap Rubina Soulsinger during the your untap step. If you tap her, you can gain control of a target creature as long as she remains tapped, which is basically like that. If she remains that way, you can take control of your opponent's card. So now that we got the commander out of the way, let's work on the deck profile. For lands, I run... I never really counted, but I run 33, and that's I use that is 7 regular forests. Then I use 1 Desert of the Indomitable, 1 of Castle Garenbrig. Next I run 9 planes, which are seven regular planes, 1 Desert of the True, and 1 Idyllic Grange. Next for islands, it's let's move those out of the way. 5 regular islands, 1 Desert of the Mindful, 1 Mystic Sanctuary, and 1 Halimar of Depths. With Halimar of Depths, it can actually allow you to set up your next, I believe it's your next 3 draws in any order you want. Next, I run 1 Mending River. It's a either plains or an island. 1 Blossoming Sands. When it enters the battlefield, you'll gain 1 life. You can either choose between forests or plains. Thornwood Falls. You can gain 1 life. Either forest or island. Tranquil Cove. Either island, plains, or island. Next to Evolving Wilds, you can just, if you have this first turn, sack it, search for either an island, plains, or a forest. 1 Seagate Wreckage, and for colorless, and the same for Crumbling Visage is also colorless. That's it for our islands. I mean our lands. Next are enchantments. I run As Foretold, so basically this is a really good card. Basically at the beginning of your upkeep you can put a time counter, and you may pay, and once each turn you may pay 0 rather than mana cost per spell you cast with a converted mana cost of X or less, where X is the number of time counters on As Foretold. So it makes it a pretty good card. Next is Shark Typhoon. You can use this to make a shark token, and it has flying. Another one, a card that I use is called a Ominous Seas, which is a card that will allow you to create a Kraken token. Next is Oath of Gideon. This will help you with your planeswalkers. Another is pacifism to stop a creature. Colossification to pump one of my creatures. And then the last one is Oath of Teferi, which is a for planeswalkers. Now we got the enchantments out of the way. Next, we are moving on to the creatures. And for that, we run Kega the Tidestar, which, when it dies, you can basically take control of an opponent's creature. Next is Menic Wall. When it enters the battlefield, you can take either a instant or sorcery from your graveyard, put it back into your hand. Next is Laboratory Maniac. So if you say you run out of cards to draw from your deck, instead of losing, you actually win. Next is Aegis Turtle, instant turn 1 drop, so you can get, protect yourself. Another is Crustacean, so basically you have 4 lands and your opponent's about to attack. You can basically be like, okay, nope, flash, play it, and boom, you can use that to block. Next is Thieving Otter, which is a 3-drop. And another is Vantress Paladin, which if it basically has this ability called Adamant, so basically you pay with basically pay with 4 blue mana. You basically can give it enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. Next is Stamping Willoughby. So basically, it's basically allow you to return a green creature card from your graveyard back to your hand, which I'll explain later why I have it. And then next is Eternal Witness. So basically, when it enters the battlefield, you can return a target card from your graveyard to your hand. And next is Yagan the Tidestar. So basically, if this dies, you can give you can distribute 5 +1/+1 counters to each of your creatures. Next is Honey Mammoth, which basically allow you to gain life when you play it. And next is Garenbrig Paladin. It basically has the same ability as Vantress Paladin with the ability Adamant. And it gets a +1/+1 counter on it. Next for white, we have Yosei the Morningstar, which basically you can choose up to 5 target. You can target a player, and they had to skip their untap step, and you can tap up to 5 target permanents that player controls. Next is Mained Serval, a pretty quick 2-drop, and another is Ardenvale Paladin, which it has the Adamant ability, which also gives it a +1/+1 counter. Next, we're moving on to the dual creature colors. Creatures with dual colors. Next is Mystic Snake. This is what I was talking about with the Wildebeest. So basically, if you use its flash ability, you can actually counter an opponent's ability. Like, you can counter a spell they play. And it's basically flash, do that, and boom. Another is Drogskull Cerber. Whenever you gain life, you draw a card. Another is Horizon Chimera. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 1 life. So basically, these two being on the field together, which is just a really good combo. And last is Farfinder, basically 3-drop, and you can search your deck for a land. And if you haven't played a land that turn, play that land that you got. Next, moving on to artifacts. Okay, so hang on, let me. Okay, so first things first, I'm just gonna show off a zero drop, which is Ornithopter. So it's basically it's flying, but it's not really that good. So yeah, but if say you play it and you block like a weak token card, it survives. Then you enchant it with that one that gives +20/+20. Next is a mana rock called Thran Dynamo, which basically allows you to get 3 mana. Another is Thought Vessel. You have a max hand size, no max hand size. Another is Ozark Relic, which basically is a mana rock, plus it allows you to draw a card and gain 3 life if you have the City's Blessing. And City's Blessing is if you have 10 or more permanents on the field. Next is Gilded Lotus, which is you can add 3 mana of any color. And then next is a Jotai Monument, which is a blue-white. You can add that to your mana pool. Next is Solar Ring. We have Spinning Wheel for a mana. And you can also tap a creature. Next is Witching Well, which you can scry, and if you have enough mana, you can sack it and draw 2, if you like those. Next is Hengewalker. It has the Adamant ability, which it can enter with a +1/+1 counter. Next is Crystalline Giant. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, choose a kind of counter at random that Crystalline Giant doesn't have from among Flying, First Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, Vigilance, and a +1/+1 counter, and put them on the Crystalline Giant, which is basically this right here. Next is Mimic Vat, which basically, when a non-creature dies, you may exile that card. If you do, return each other card exiled with Mimic Vat to its owner's graveyard. Create a creature token of a card exiled with Mimic Vat. It gains haste until ended. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Next is Titan Forge, which remove and you'll get a 9/9 Golem artifact creature on your token on your battlefield. And next is Conjurer's Closet. I'll show there's a combo that'll allow you to take infinite turns with this deck, along with have like what is I'm trying to think of it. I can't think of it. Shoot, sorry about that. Next, for our Planeswalker, we have the only Planeswalker, which is a Johnny Mentor of Heroes, and if you use his +8, you can actually gain 100 life. Next, we have Convolute. So say like if you play that if your opponent has like less, like say they play something big and they don't have the mana for it, you can counter it. Next is Counterspell, which I need to get the legit version. This is a tournament version of the card, so I really can't play it. Time Warp, Essence Scatter, Deprive, Boon of the Wishgiver, which lets you draw 4 cards. Neutralize, it's a counter spell. Keep Safe, it's you can counter a target spell that targets a permanent you control, and you can draw a card. Opt lets you scry one. Didn't say please. You can target a spell, and if you counter it, then the opponent also mills 3 cards into their graveyard. Adamant, if you pay 3 mana, blue mana with that, it'll allow you to scry, and if you like those 3, then draw those 3. Next is Sky Shroud Claim. You can search your library up to 2 forest cards, put them into play, then shuffle your library. Beneath the Sands is a basically the same as it, but it can be for any basic land. Same with Cultivate. Next is Plummet. Destroy a creature card with flying. Barrier Breach. You can exile 3 target enchantments. Migration Path. Basically, same as Cultivate. You can search for lands and then put them into the battlefield tapped. Next is Wilt, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Divine Arrow, which deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Coordinated Charge. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. True Love's Kiss. Destroy a target artifact or enchantment. Draw a card. Blade Banish. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Silver Flame Ritual. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. And then Adamant. If at least 3 white mana was spent to cast this spell, creatures you control gain vigilance until end of turn. Another is Give and Take. Give will put 3 +1/+1 counters on target creature. And Take, you can remove all +1/+1 counters from target creature you control. Draw that many cards. And Urban Evolution lets you basically draw 3 cards and play an additional land. Okay, so basically a certain combo I found was using Conjurer's Closet, Eternal Witness, and oh shoot, I passed it. And Time Warp. Okay, so basically say you play Time Warp, lets you take an extra turn. Next you play, say you had Conjurer's Closet and you just played Eternal Witness. So basically what that does is let you target Time Warp, put it back into your hand, and then you can exile Eternal Witness, then you play Time Warp again, and basically it's an infinite loop. And then that's those 3. Then with say like you played say your opponent plays a spell and you don't like what it does, you play Mystic Snake, then it's countered. Then your turn, you play Stampeding Wildebeest, Mystic Snake returns to your hand. So next turn, like say, and that keeps going. And basically, there you go. That's it for the deck profile. And if you guys want to get any of the cards you just saw, You can use my affiliate code with TCG Player, which I'll put a link to TCG Player and with my affiliate code down in the description below, along with my new ambassador code and link to Raise Energy. So if you guys want to support the channel in any way, definitely use those codes down below. And this is Lost Inferno Fire Dragon signing off.